Good morning. Welcome back to Breakfast Television. We're going to talk about swearing right now. I did it once a long, long time ago.
Never again?
Yeah, never. What if you have a potty mouth and the kids don't like it around their kids? Are you allowed to swear in front of them and explain it's just a grandma thing?
Well, joining us now, Rick, is go-to grandma. We love her. Kathy Buckworth is back. Buckworth is back.
I am.
Kathy Buckback is worth.
And I'm worth it.
With some amazing tips on how to control that blue streak. I want to swear right there, but I can have a potty mouth, but it depends. I can control it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can.
Okay.
I can
Started
too.
in the newsroom.
Okay.
Yeah, I can too, and it's tough, right? And it's especially tough around your grandkids, especially because my kids are all grown now. We got used to kind of swearing in front of each other, you know what I mean? Because everybody's grown and it's fine.
Yes.
All of a sudden, there's some little kids around, and my daughter's like, "No, Mom. No, you're not allowed to use that word anymore." So it's tricky, right?
I used to substitute words for the actual F-bomb word. I used to say fudge.
Fudge.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, Rick. And I think what we need to do is check in with our kids to say what words are okay to use in front of their kids.
Yes.
What do they consider to be bad words? There's some obvious ones also, but maybe they don't even like the substitution. Maybe you're supposed to say, "Gosh darn." Yeah. We need to check in with our kids to see, is that okay? Now, just the other day, I was putting my 3-year-old grandson Cam into the back of the car, and I whacked my knee so hard.
Oh, no, Kathy.
Dropped the F-bomb right in his ear. Right in his ear, and I was like, no reaction from him. He's probably not heard it before. I just carried on and whatever. And I thought that's the first sort of rule, too, is ascertain whether they've heard the swear word. Don't say, "Oh, so sorry right away." Because then they're like, "Sorry for what?"
It just makes it a thing.
Don't
Then
make
their
it a big
ears
thing.
really
Then their ears
perk
are
up.
ringing. And so don't apologize until you really know, or you think they did hear that. I'm going to go tell my daughter this happened so that maybe she wants to deal with it instead of me. You know, like, what's the protocol here, right? So go to the parents.
I still remember the first time my oldest son dropped an F-bomb. He didn't know what the word meant. He was 3 years old. And as a parent, we're not expecting that.
That's right.
But you don't want, like you said, make it a big deal.
How do you
laugh
react,
or,
right?
And you keep it all in.
You keep it all in. So there's bad language, like swearing, and then there's offensive language. So somebody says, you know, a kid might relay something that's maybe racist or in a bad religious way or a homophobic way, and you're like, how do you deal with that? That may be something they heard on the school grounds, maybe something they saw in a movie. So again, as the grandparent, if you hear it, my whole thing is if I hear it, I report it. How's that? Because maybe the parent has had the conversation with the kid before. This is an ongoing conversation they want to continue. Maybe this is something that's never happened before, and they're like, I'll deal with it because this is very serious, and I want to know where they picked this up from, etc. Because we're not around the grandkids as much as the parents, obviously, so we're not sure what their influences are all the time. Obviously.
And it's so true, because you see, like, it goes viral. I've been guilty of laughing at. People are showing the kids swearing, and then when they see the parents' reaction, it eggs them on even further.
It's
they get
funny.
even now. It's funny.
Now it's funny. And now, I mean, I'm sorry, but poop jokes are always going to be funny, and fart jokes are going to be funny. But are those allowed as well? Again, not necessarily swearing, but what kind of language is allowed in their home? And I think you want to check in with that. You also want to check in on, are they misidentifying people by gender, and how do you correct that? There's a lot of things around language too. Language matters, as we know. So if we're out with the grandkids and they are misgendering someone, you might want to say, actually, that's he or that's they, and just correct them gently as you go along, and talk to the parents again to say, you know, we're going to do this. This is hurtful to some people. It's offensive. Let's deal with this together so we're all on the same page.
I think making those corrections at such a young age is so crucial. You got to nip it in the bud, get to it right away, so they get to make those same.
I have another sibling who is non-binary, and so this is these are their nieces and nephews, and my nephews automatically say they, them all the time, whereas some of the rest of my family might still struggle with it because we're not used to the language right from the get-go. It's a great point, Rick.
I bet
Getting
those
to it
older
really early.
family members have sort of challenges
Sometimes,
more than the younger ones.
and by mistake, you know, and correcting right away. So I think that's what we need to do with the kids too, in terms of bad language, offensive language. Tackle it right away, but maybe not with the kids, since you're the grandparent. Talk to the parents, say, what can we do to make sure that everyone's on the same page, and role model it. So try not to swear, obviously. Good practice to not swear when you're not around them. So your partner and yourself, maybe, you know, my husband and I say, try not to swear at all on this day, and then we're going to go see the grandkids tomorrow, because it becomes part of your vernacular.
We'll get you a donut if you don't swear on this day.
Yeah, I didn't do it right now, right? You don't have to beat me on this segment.
Live TV. So. And it's calming and gently, as opposed to making them feel bad.
Precisely.
But the thing is, it's also, I feel like with some kids, like if it's in music or if it's in a movie and it's accidental and you happen to be with them, What do you do then?
Well, that's again. I think you need to dress it in more of a calm way. Maybe after the fact, take them aside and talk about it. And it's also, Dina, really hard not to laugh when a 3-year-old does drop the F-bomb. You know, and it's particularly, you know, as grandparents, we laugh, and then I get the evil eye, you know, because I'm not supposed to do that. So it's practice, and it's being consistent and routine. If it's a bad word, it's a bad word. Grandma can't say it. Parents can't say it, kid can't say it. We're all in the same together.
They're sponges and they're learning.
Exactly.
And they're watching our every move. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, I still remember, I get PTSD sometimes over it. I still remember the first time I let out of my mouth that.
In front of your kids?
Well, no, as a kid myself.
Okay, yeah.
I grew up as an altar boy, you know, try to be a good person, and I still, like, when I think of that word, and I go back to that first time it actually came out of my mouth. It's really interesting.
It is.
The way my mind works.
Rick,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, I was probably 9 or 10, and that word came out. I don't know how it came out. I don't know how I.
Rick is the sweetest person. So you're not kidding. You've only sworn once in your life.
When you said that, I thought you'd only sworn once in your life in front of your kids or something. Yeah.
Do you mean you've only
Listen,
sworn
I've sworn
once
a
in
few
your life?
times. I can count on one hand maybe, but I try not to. I just try not to use that language.
So how do you feel when you're around other people who swear?
Well, sometimes I'll get up and leave a room, or it's not my thing to tell them how to approach life and how to speak. So
I'm going to have to monitor myself now around poor Rick.
But I've been around you a lot, but I've never heard you swear.
Really?
Yeah.
Give it time.
Maybe because I was on live TV.
The golden rule for everybody is if a word is offending someone, stop using it.
Yes.
Period.
Well,
Right?
that's good to know. I'm going to be more
let's
cautious
just
around you
stop with
because
it.
I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. Balderdash.
Oh,
Yes, I said it.
Gosh darn, Dina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why are you speaking my language?
She wins.
How's your knee doing, by the way?
She wins.
It's much better now that I let that out.
Question. You feel better now,
Yeah,
right? Where do we
exactly.
get more info, Kath?
KathyBuckworth.com.
She knows how to say it. I didn't off the top. We'll be back with more BT right after this. Buckworth.
I've only met her 20, 30 times. It's fine.